Hello, lovely people. Thanks for visiting the channel. Today's living share is a 2009 performance from a play I wrote about 15 years ago. About 17 years ago, my preceptor in the HIV/AIDS clinic revealed culture plays a key role in people's response, producing a continued increase in infection in our community. I believe culture continues to play a key role today because we know the education is out there. Hopefully, this skit brings a bridge in the connection so that we as a community can help each other break down the barriers and make those infection numbers go down. I am grateful for the passionate parishioners who came together to help present this work. We hope that you enjoy our efforts. Thank you. Presenting Stories of HIV, copyright by Irene. Starring Pamela Whitaker as the specialist, Lila Garcia as the 20-year-old, Darren A. Hartley as the 25-year-old, Angela Whitaker as the 35-year-old, Cassandra Hudson Johnson as the 45-year-old, Deborah Bullard as the 55-year-old, and Irene as the talk show host. The scripture reading is Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. I am voicing over this section because I did not want the name of the facility to be mentioned. Thanks for understanding. It was during the preceptorship at a local HIV/AIDS clinic that I got the inspiration to write stories of HIV. One of the preceptors asked the young me why I thought HIV continued to increase in the African American and Latino community. I thought for a second and said, it's education. She then said, no, everyone knows about it. She then said it was culture. Some in high risk said they did not use protection because the women would question them being faithful. Ladies, you have to stop the opportunity. At the end of the skit, you can find the website listed for the Center of Disease Control and the National Institute of Health for the latest information and stats. Let's keep the communication open and honest with each other. It is appreciated if you like, share, and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you. As the part of introduction continues at this time in silent mode, as the ladies are coming to the stage and being introduced to the audience, I would like to take this time to thank the ladies for their patience and for volunteering their time to help make the skit a success. Pamela, Lila, Darren, Angela, Cassandra, and Deborah, thank you so very much for your time and dedication. In addition to the ladies, the gentlemen behind the scenes, Robert and Jason, thank you for your time and dedication. Now, for you who are watching, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hope you enjoy Stories of HIV. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the A-Reen Show. Today on my show, we will be discussing a very important issue in the African American community. and that is HIV infection among African American females. In 2005, on my show, we discussed African American females represented 70% of the new HIV cases, although African Americans represented 12.8% of the population. In 2005, on my show, we also discovered that African American females represented 2.5% of the AIDS cases. That is very startling. On my show in 2005, we also discovered that the CDC reported that the risk factors were poverty, poor socioeconomic status, STDs, infected males, and also known in the HIV or African American community, what also caused them to have an increased infection was the thought of the Tuskegee Institute also being revisited. Also, a book by Leonard Horowitz called Emerging Viruses. He states in his book that HIV was invented to infect African American communities in order to cause a, what do we say, epidemic in the African American community in order for the drug companies to profit from coming up with a cure. Dr. Whitaker, what say you in regards to this?
Oh, Oprah. Oh, I mean, Avery. We just love you so much. You're so great. You know, you're just wonderful. That's the reason why we just love you, to come here and tell you the story about the AIDS epidemic. You know, most of the Black American communities feel that the AIDS virus was done back in the 40s with the Tuskegee experiment, but that's not so. And they feel that the government wanted to manufacture this disease to get rid of the Black race. Yeah, and that's not so either. The truth is, evil exists in this world. We all know that. And I am here to give my whole life up for these women who have AIDS and who have known people that have AIDS. It's an epidemic, and it's something that we have to deal with right now in this time. Also, you know, I can give you an example. If someone has a cold, you know, if they go wash their hands, that, well, the possibility of catching a cold is very slim. But if someone has AIDS, can't wash their hands. And that's the fact.
No.
It's here.
So, Dr. Whitaker, you have a company with you, members of the group AAFAP, and that stands for African American Females for AIDS Protection.
That's right.
And I understand, Dr. Whitaker, that all of these women have higher degrees at some level or they are business people. For example, Willa Garcia, I see that she's a registered nursing student.
Yes, she is.
You have to have some kind of intelligence to be a registered nurse, I think.
That's right. Very intelligent.
And then we have, who's this? Angie Whitaker. She's a research scientist.
That's
And
right.
she's hearing impaired, I see.
Yes, she is.
Wow. And then we have the 25-year-old Darren A. Hartley, who is an independent businesswoman.
Yes, we do.
And Cassandra Hudson Johnson
Yes.
is a college professor.
That's right.
And lastly, Deborah Moody. What is your occupation, young lady?
Speech pathologist.
She's a speech pathologist. So, from my understanding, it seems that this disease knows no boundaries of race or boundaries of educational level.
No, you know, you would think with the advancement of medicine and technology that we would have some kind of help or clue or cure, but we don't. All we have is what we know right here in my clinic, and that is to self-protect yourself. That's what we're here, is to let these women know, here in the audience, that you have to take control of your life.
Is that sort of like Janet Jackson's Control?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that one.
So, Dr. Whitaker, what do these women have to say? They seem like they are just bursting with something to say.
Well, you know, I just want to say also that these women have been through a lot. They have been rejected, dejected, and ostracized in their homes, in their communities, at church. You know, they can't even go to a clinic in their neighborhood because they don't want to be seen or labeled with the HIV virus. And that is something we want to deal with. We want to be able to go out and get help and get educated on this disease because it's not going away.
Doesn't seem to be going away, ladies and gentlemen. And Dr. Whitaker, what brought you into the lower social economic area for your community?
Well, I have nieces, nephews, and daughters, and aunts, and grandmothers, and I have so many people in my family that I want to make sure that they don't get this disease, because this disease does not have a name on it. You can get it no matter what. And I want these women and people here in the audience know that they have to protect themselves. And they need to do that right now, starting today, October 17th, 2009, because this is not going to go away.
So what you're saying, Dr. Whitaker, is that me, A-Ring of the A-Ring show, is also at risk for this disease?
Yes, honey, you just as at risk as anybody else here.
Wow.
Yes. Money has no way of helping you out. Look at Magic Johnson. He still has AIDS. And he has money too.
Yes, and I see here also, when the news media had reported that Magic Johnson was no longer detected, from my understanding, no longer detected means that in one drop of blood, ladies and gentlemen, that the HIV virus, there is only 400, less than 400 of the HIV virus cell in one drop of blood, and then they report it as non-detected. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have it, it just means that non-detected.
Well, like I said, we are here to let you guys know that sex has to be protected, or you can't get HIV, AIDS. So, if you want to go ahead and have sex with Magic, go ahead. But I suggest you don't, because those odds that he has, I wouldn't do it if I were you.
So you're saying it will no longer be a magical moment?
Maybe for just a second.
Let's hear what these lovely ladies have to say.
Oh, yes. I'm so happy that they all came here, and I just want you to know that each one of these ladies, it was hard to get them to come, but they have a story to tell, and they have to tell you this because they're going through it right now, and it's not easy to be up here and have you guys watch them because it's serious. Each one of them have an important story, and I'm going to start off with Ms. Lila Garcia, who is 20 years old, and as we said, she is a nurse in training, so she has a story. Go ahead, Lila.
Welcome her to the A-Ring Show!
Thank you, A-Ring, and thank you, Dr. Whitaker. As you guys said, I'm 20 years old, I'm a nurse in training, and yes, I'm HIV positive. And if you would have told me that I would be up here giving a personal point of view about HIV/AIDS, I would have told you that you're lying. Unfortunately, I am in this predicament. Now, when I was younger, I always thought that HIV/AIDS was a gay disease, a disease that only drug users got because they shared needles. You know, a disease for the undesirable of society. So, I'm not gay, and I don't use drugs, so I thought I was in the clear. And the guys that I messed around with were just that, guys. I didn't know their names, I didn't know where they lived, I didn't know their phone numbers. I was just thinking about one thing and one thing only and getting it, and there you go. Yeah, I was raised in a Christian home, and of course I was taught about the whole God said no sex before marriage, but I'm a young person, okay? God made that rule for the old people, not for people in my generation. So, most naturally, I didn't follow. Now, look where it got me. I mean, I can't tell you from which guy I got it from. I can't tell you when I got it. I can't tell you where I got it. All I know is that the damage has been done, and there's no going back. I mean, I even met a 25-year-old who said that she blamed her parents for not being there when she was a teenager, and that's why she became the way she was. But later on, she realized that contracting this disease was all on her. She needed to take responsibility of herself. And I'm here to tell you guys that HIV/AIDS does not discriminate. It's not a gay disease. It's not a drug user disease. HIV doesn't care who you are, where you're from, or how much money you make. It will get you if you don't protect yourself. Unfortunately, I had to learn that the hard way.
Thank you, Willa. Thank you so much. Yes, I just want to thank you for giving us your heart-rending story. And now we're going to hear from Darren Hartley. She's a 25-year-old businesswoman, black businesswoman in the black community. Go ahead, Darren. Handle it.
Yes, I am Darren A, 25 years old, and really didn't think I'll be up here right now about to tell you what I'm about to tell you. I grew up in a good family. Both my parents were there. However, they were always working, so it's me and my brother at home with Auntie this and Uncle who, and, you know, they were cool, but it's nothing like your own. Mom and Dad always pushed us to do one better than them. If they were the manager, we had to be the director. If they owned the store, we needed to own the company. That's just how it went. So, like, whatever, you know, whatever they're talking about, I did what I did in school. About, I'll say, right before I graduated, I got pregnant. And then after my graduation, I had my first baby. And I thought I was in love with this guy. Like, ooh, this is my boo. Well, he was only my boo for about 3 or 4 weeks. And next 8 months, it was just me and my baby. So after I had my baby, I ran into this other guy. And I was like, oh, he's cool. He came from the wrong side of the tracks, trying to get his life together. He's like, okay, we're just going to both go to church and do the right thing. Got married. Had another baby, everything was good. I'm like, God has blessed me, this is it. Well, a couple months down the line, my baby was just getting sick. I'm like, what's going on with my son? Taking him to the doctor. The doctor's like, you know what, we need to go ahead and just do an HIV test just to make sure. And I'm like, what? I was like, yeah, because of the symptoms. Okay, fine. Went and took the test. My baby came back positive. What was even more heart-wrenching is that I gave it to my baby. So I went home and confronted my husband, and he told me, oh, my test is negative, you tripping. All that. And a month after my son died, so did my husband. Now I'm here with no husband, no baby, just me, my first child, and this disease. If only I'd have known better, if I should have listened to someone, if I didn't think I knew everything. But I can't take anything back now because I have to live with this. It can happen to anybody. It can happen to you, even you. Don't be scared, it's real.
Thank you so much, Darren A. It's hard to hear that, you know, that she had a husband and a son, and now it's just her. It's sad. I will be there for you, dear Nate. I will be there. My clinic, you know where it's at. Doors are always open. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Okay, at this time on the A-Ring show, we will be taking up an offering. So ladies and gentlemen, checks, cash, money orders, you take it all. And the offering will be for the AIDS Project LA. They've been very supportive and also allowed me to use their logo. I communicated with Madonna Tori, and she allowed me to use her logo of the AIDS Project LA logo. So if you can please give a donation for them, it's a really needed and worthy cause. Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the A-Ring Show! And thank you, guests, Dr. Whitaker and members of the group AAFAP, African American Females for AIDS Protection. Next, Dr. Whitaker, who's going to be speaking with us next?
Okay, we will have Cassandra Hudson Johnson, who is a college professor. Yes, and we're so happy that she was able to make it because she was going to go to China today, but she decided to come to your show.
Welcome here to the A-Ring Show!
Yes, good evening. How's everyone? Thank you, Avery, for having me. Thank you, Dr. Whitaker. I was raised in a home with a mother and a father. They were older. They didn't have much. We didn't have much growing up. We were a large family. But they provided us with much love. Being the youngest, I was assured that I would be able to complete college. I had married before I completed my last year, and a few years later, I had my first child. The marriage didn't last long, however, because of my husband's infidelity. I continued my studies and earned my master's degree. After all, I had to support my son, since his dad had, left. I always had a relationship with God. So when I met this SDA neighbor, and she introduced me to Bible truths that I had not noticed before, I began to study the Bible more. And I developed an even deeper relationship with Christ. As time went on, I married again, despite the feelings from God that indicated to wait on Him. Everything was going well. We believed in some of the same things, like God, family, and fidelity. After a year of our marriage, he seemed to change. He basically stopped having sex with me, claiming that it was my fault because I wasn't being the wife I should be. He complained because I didn't seem to have time for him. He complained about things that were just ridiculous to the common standards. I worked Monday through Friday, 12 hours. He worked a 12-hour shift, but he had days off. But he expected me to cook, clean, even do yard work. I don't think so. This loving man seemed to have turned into a demon from hell.
Where else would he be from?
Hello. But I just got closer to God, since I knew He was my only peace. My son had gone to live with his father, which was a blessing, so he wasn't around the demon man. My job sent me on a conference, and while I was there in another state, I talked to my husband. I called him and I said, you know what? you need to get into Bible study like we were before. He told me we were so far from a relationship that he did not see what would ever become of it and what was the reason for it and why was it necessary. Well, I got home earlier than expected, and he was still at work. So I got on my knees and I began to pray. And I asked the Lord, Lord, what is it that I need to do? What am I doing wrong? And a voice whispered to me and said, get up and go look at the TV. Yes. So I pushed in the videotape that was there. My husband is on show with a young man. Whoa. Having sex. Doing all the things we were supposed to be doing. Yes. A young man from my church. But you know what? When I watched this, I was calm. I was at peace. Thank you, Lord, because we had had sex. Hallelujah. But I thought that it would be important for me to tell the young lady who was married to him that about what he was doing and the homosexual activities that he was engaged in. She was pretty angry. But I told her that if she was having unprotected sex, she needed to go and be tested. She tested positive. And you know what? He denied anything. He said, you can't believe all the rumors. Is that a rumor? I don't think so. There you go. I think he left the church claiming that his job sent him to another state. I was fortunate, however. I had information from an HIV/AIDS activist who had told me about the cultural beliefs and that was the main factor for why so many of African American women were contracting HIV. If a man wants to use a condom, the black female would ask, why?
Okay.
When my husband did not want to have sex with me, I was relieved. I relied on the Lord when he said in Philippians 4:19, but my God will supply all your needs according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. My individual relationship with God and my choice to protect myself kept me protected from HIV. This is not a homosexual disease. This is not a drug user's disease. Black females are representative of about 71% of the new HIV cases.
Very alarming. 70%. Not half. 70%. Very, very alarming. We just want to thank you once again, Professor, for delaying your trip to China to be here on the show. Thank you so much. Now we come to our 55-year-old woman, and her name is Deborah Moody, and she is a speech pathologist, and she is a wonderful person. She's been around, and her story is a little bit different, so she's going to tell it. Go ahead, Ms. Deborah.
Thank you for having me on your show. I'm going to just take this spot so I can get a little bit closer here, because this is an interesting story.
Yes,
Hi, my name is Deborah, and no, I'm not HIV positive, but that doesn't mean I'm not affected. You know, even though some of the women are positive, it affects everybody. It's like a domino effect. It affects the family, friends, co-workers, church members. Let me tell you a story about a friend of mine. I have a friend and a church member. She's 70 years old. Now, you would think at 70, she'd be enjoying her children, her grandchildren, and maybe even great-grands, but this one only has a grandchild. But instead, She's spending her time going back and forth to the doctor, trying to down 16 pills every day in order to stave off the final stages of HIV, which is AIDS. Well, let me tell you the story. Let me back up a little bit so you can understand, what I'm trying to tell you here. 2 years ago, her husband had passed away, and she decided to go to her class reunion. Okay? And as she was packing, she thought about that. You know how we do, ladies. Think about that old boy. We looking good. We'll go back and show them how cute we look. Okay. So she decided to go back to her class reunion. Make a long story short, she went to class reunion. Okay. She came back, and about a few months later, a month or two later, she got a cold that she could not get rid of. Now she used those old remedies, that your mama told you to take the chicken soup and the rice and the herbs. Okay, didn't work. She was back and forth to the doctor, and finally the internist told her, well, let me take an HIV test. And she was looking like, that's for those promiscuous women, the drug dealers, the lady of the evening, those kind of people. And definitely she wasn't one of those. But she thought about it when the internist asked her, did she have unprotected sex? She had to think about that beau back there in Texas at the class reunion. Okay? The old guy. She thought about it, and then she had to tell the internist, and based on that, they did the test, and she was positive. This is at 70 years old.
Let me guess.
Girl, she remembered in the bathroom, she saw the Viagra in his bathroom. And girl, let me tell you, it was prescribed a year before the class reunion. So no doubt she did confront the old man, and girl, guess what he said? I'm not sick, you must not got it from me. I'm like you, I didn't have sex with nobody for 2 years, after my wife died. Just lying. So I, being an HIV/AIDS activist, would like you to know and understand this, that HIV and AIDS is a disease that is waiting to happen if given the opportunity. It's a disease that, and I want you to really get this one, that not only infects, but affects mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, aunties, great aunts. Are you getting the picture now? Yes. So I, as an activist, would like to encourage and educate women to take responsibility to protect themselves.
Wow, that was a twister, wasn't it? You thought she had AIDS. Well, like she said, it can happen to anybody in this room. Thank you so much, Ms. Moody. I really, really appreciated that. It takes a lot for these women to come up here and tell their stories. It's not easy. And the last story we're going to have is a hearing impaired research scientist. And she's going to tell her story. She's also going to sign it. Okay. She's going to sign it for our guests that are in the audience also. So we would like to introduce Angie Whitaker.
Thank you for inviting me here today. I really appreciate it. I want to take the time to talk about my story, about what happened to me. 35 years old. Young woman. I'm beautiful. I have nice things. I went to school. I went to college. My parents taught me to respect myself, so I stayed a virgin. I went to school and I studied and I studied. And then finally I got the job I always wanted, a scientist. No one's ever heard of a hard of hearing scientist. I wanted to be the first. I wanted to be the best. So here I have a good job, I have a nice house, I have a good car, a lot of money. I had doing good for myself. I was going to church, and I was going to church every Saturday. One day, I went to church, and I was sitting and waiting, and I looked
and I saw you man standing there, sit down. He was new. He was a visitor. And I said to myself, I will go see him when church is finished, talk to him, because he was fine. Church was finished. I went up to him, introduced myself, and we finally started talking, dating, going out, and we got married. I was so happy because I had saved myself from my husband. I was still a virgin. So finally, maybe 2 years, couldn't get pregnant. It was fine because I love my God. I was not trying to hurry to get pregnant. One day, I started to feel sick. My throat was hurting, had a headache, my body was hurting. I said, fine, okay, I'm going to go to the doctors. And the doctor told me, you know, I think you should take HIV test. Me? HIV test? Excuse me, I was a virgin before I got married. I don't think so. He said, no, serious. Take the test, please. Was your husband a virgin when you married? I said, none of your business. Okay, fine, I'll take the test. I know it's going to be wrong. I wanted to prove the doctor wrong. So I got the test back. I was HIV positive. Me, virgin. I had a lot of things for myself, plus HIV. So I wanted to share with the people here and the deaf people here that you guys are right. It's not for only black people or gays. It's for all colors. It's for white and Hispanics. It's for men and women, kids, adults. Everyone can get HIV. It's a serious disease. You should always get tested for it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Angie. Thank you. Okay, great. So, Irene, you know, it's wonderful that you came, that let us come on your show and let us open our hearts and our lives to your audience. And we want to thank you because you're so wonderful. We just love you to death.
Thanks to your audience. And I would really like for us to give a hearty hand clap to Dr. Whitaker and the members of the group AAFAP. Thank you all so much for coming on the A-Ring Show. Now, Dr. Whitaker, from my understanding, the statistics in today, in 2009, for this population of the African American females has not changed that much.
It has not.
So, from my understanding, your group is going to be going around from state to state trying to promote education and break down this cultural barrier that is causing these African American female and children to be infected at an alarming rate, despite the African American community only representing 12.8% of the U.S. population, yet being infected at a rate of 70.1%.
That's true. You have said it all in a paragraph.
I guess we should say you. Well, thank you, Dr. Whitaker, and members of the group AAFAP. Thank you so much for coming on my show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we will now start rolling the tape, and as always on the A-Ring Show, we will have a time for question and answer, and the studio audience to share